It's postseason time for fall high school sports, but just before the fall state tournaments get going, the city championships were held on the volleyball court and soccer field last week. First up on Tuesday, the Boston English Lady Bulldogs entered into the City Girls Volleyball Finals looking for their fourth straight title when they took on the O'Brien Lady Tigers. Let's head to Jeremiah Burke High School for this one. There you see the English Lady Bulldogs. They're taking on O'Brien. English up 1-0. We're now in the second set. Maxile Pagero with a spike right here for the Lady Bulldogs. She puts them up 25-12. They win the second set. Third set now, O'Brien battles back. This ball is going to be buried right here by the O'Brien Lady Tigers as they go on to win the third set 25-21. So we head to the fourth set. O'Brien hanging tough. Pagero trying for the spike, but the Lady Bulldogs block that shot right there. Ties it up at 12 apiece, but English charges right back. Nice set right here by the Lady Bulldogs. It's Pagero again with the spike right there between two O'Brien Lady Tigers as English goes up in the fourth set. English now up 24-23. Jasmine Allen with the serve. O'Brien cannot return it, and English wins 3-1, and the Lady Bulldogs capture their fourth straight girls volleyball title here in the city of Boston. Then on Wednesday, it was the Boys City Soccer Championships. Madison Park taking on Dorchester. Both teams undefeated coming into play. First half here, Witter Batista breaks a 0-0 tie with 16 minutes left in the half. He scores for Madison Park as they go up 1-0, and they would lead 1-0 at the break. Second half now, Dorchester with a wide open shot right here, but it skips off the top of the crossbar there, and Madison Park still up 1-0. Later on in the half, Dorchester again threatening, but Madison keeper Joao Gomez with the great save right there keeps Dorchester off the scoreboard. Then it's Madison with the free kick. Gustavo Gomes scores for the Cardinals. Madison Park goes up 2-0 there in the second half. Later on, Dorchester with a great lead pass right there. The Bears have an open net as Gomes comes out to block this kick, but they could not put it through. Just that kind of day for Dorchester as the Madison Park Cardinals win the city championship 2-0. Boys soccer city champs for the Cardinals for the fourth year in a row. Outstanding game there for Madison Park. Also on Wednesday, girls soccer city championships. The East Boston Jets edge out the O'Brien Lady Tigers 1-0. Ruth Rivera gets the game's lone goal for the East Boston Jets as they take their second title in a row. So three very competitive city championship games. A lot of teams started their state tournament competition earlier this week. So a lot going on there. Now, high school football here in Massachusetts has begun a brand new statewide playoff system this year where teams will have to win multiple games in order to reach the Super Bowl. This past Friday, 5 city high school football teams were in playoff action, including the Brighton Bengals, who took on the Manchester Essex Hornets in the North Division 5 quarterfinals. Let's head to historic Harvard Stadium for this one. There you see the Brighton Bengals 7-0 on the season, taking on Manchester Essex. First play from scrimmage, Hornets running back Chris Dumont with a 34-yard run into Brighton territory right here. That was a sign of things to come here for Dumont on the evening. Hornets now from the 3, fullback Nate Reel with a touchdown run there for Manchester Essex. They go up 6-0 there in the first quarter. Brighton's first possession later on in the first. Brighton from their own 30. Nixon Marcelin on the reverse, 67 yards down the sideline there for the Bengals. Sets up the Bengals at the 3-yard line. Dexter Andrews would score a touchdown there, and the Brighton would go up 8-6. Later on in the second quarter, Craig Carter going deep there for Seth Cohen. 40-yard pass play there for the Hornets. And Dumont would then punch it in from inside the 5, and Manchester Essex would be back up 14-6. Less than a minute left to go in the half. Jalen Applewhite goes to work. He finds Shaq Davis over the middle. Good for 27 yards. That brings Brighton in Hornets territory. Then from the 13, Applewhite over the middle finds Michael Darius, the wide receiver, for the touchdown. After a 2-point conversion, Brighton goes up 16-14. On the ensuing kickoff, Manchester Essex has trouble fielding the football. Brighton would then recover at the 13 with 3 seconds left to go in the half. This gives Brighton one more chance to put up some points before halftime, and they would take advantage. Jalen Applewhite Rolling to his left, finds Dexter Andrews for the touchdown. Brighton goes into the half up 22-14. But the second half would be a completely different story. Nate Reel, the fullback for Manchester Essex. Tough run right here up the gut, brings it down to the 11-yard line. Then from the 4, it's Chris Dumont on the direct snap, bulldozes his way in for the score. We're tied at 22 apiece there in the third quarter. Last play of the third quarter now here. Huge hole for Chris Dumont, straight up the gut. He rumbles 35 yards for the Manchester Essex Hornets down to the 11-yard line. And then to start the fourth quarter, Chris Dumont from the 2 puts Manchester Essex ahead 28-22. Monster game for this kid, but he was not done. Dumont again over the left side later in the fourth quarter, breaks 4 tackles, scoring a touchdown right there. He had 246 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns, as Manchester Essex goes on to win 42-28. Other playoff scores from Friday. Latin Academy taking down Dorchester 22-14. Kyle Dance, 1 passing and 1 rushing touchdown. O'Brien taking down West Roxbury 33-18. Mackay Williams with 4 rushing touchdowns for the O'Brien Tigers. So 2 football teams still alive in the new statewide playoff format, and the Latin Academy Dragons will face the O'Brien Tigers on Friday night at O'Brien High School in the sectional semifinals. That game should be a lot of fun. That's going to do it for sports this week. Make sure you come right back here next week, folks, for more on Boston Neighborhood Sports.